Good evening, you're watching Lookuptv. My name is Louis. That means it's time for the news.
Sisi bado tuko na chuki, tuko na chungu yale ambayo yalifanyika, manake ushindi yetu ilinyakuliwa.
Tonight on Lookup News, Raila claims shortchanged in the 2022 presidential elections. Reru-based commander charged with sexual harassment. Amalusi Hospital and a serious probe from senators and the governor on the spot. From the time they first mentioned it, this kicked up controversy. Was it going to happen? Was it a demonstration? Was it a protest? But Kamkunji did happen today, and Azimio leader Raila Odinga went out to meet his supporters today to a warm reception as he spoke to them for the first time since he lost his election in what he has termed a beginning of public consultations with the public.
Slowly by slowly, the Azimio One Kenya supporters began arriving at Kamkunji grounds ahead of their party leader Raila Odinga. Though the turnout was low compared to his other political meetings, the environment provided the Azimio politician with an opportunity to air their grievances. Raila Odinga assured to stand with the four embattled IEBC commissioners, stating that they stood with the truth by disputing the outcome of presidential result in the last election.
Hawa ma commissioners wanne tunataka mpaka warudishwe pale wako, warudishwe pale. Alupa na Ruto mpaka azuiliwe kuteua tume ingine ya uchaguzi ambayo ni yake, ni kama kargosi yake. Kama amefanya namna hiyo, kutakuwa kuna uchaguzi katika taifa letu. Tumeelewana vizuri?
President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua found themselves in the receiving end, with the Azimio politicians accusing them of failing to live to their campaign promises.
Mahakama sasa imekuwa ni karagosi ya executive. The judiciary is captive to the executive. Tuelewana vizuri? Tuelewana vizuri? Nimeona kila mara kwa mara rais anakwenda kwa kule kwa mahakama, mtawapata nyinyi pesa, mtajenga makoti na kadhalika.
The politicians punched holes on President William Ruto's Asla Fund, asking their supporters not to adhere to the loans, terms and conditions.
Baada ya siku 100 tuliambiwa bei ya unga itakuwa shilingi 70, imekuwa haijakuwa. Tuliambiwa katika simu yako hautanunua airtime, imekuwa haijakuwa. Tuliambiwa wifi itakuwa bure, imekuwa haijakuwa. Tuliambiwa Hustler Fund itakuwa ya bure, imekuwa haijakuwa. Na hiyo Hustler Fund msirudishe tafadhali.
Na wako na deni zetu mingi, ndio maana tunawaambia leo ile 500 walipeana inaitwa Hustler Fund, munalipa ama hamlipi? Hatulipi sababu wako na deni yetu.
The Azimio leader stated that comes Monday 12th next week, they will be holding their parallel Jamhuri Day celebrations at Jacaranda grounds in Embakasi East constituency.
Kama Wakenya sio lazima tuende kwa sherehe ya mtu mwingine. Rais atakuwa na sherehe yake kule Nyayo Stadium, lakini sisi na Wakenya wenzetu tutaenda kule Jacaranda grounds. Muunga mkono. Muunga mkono.
The politicians stated that if no change made by the government, they will launch demonstrations.
Wakati ukifika tuhitaji maandamano, William Ruto hatutakuuliza ruhusa, tutaenda maandamano.
Mwaka mpya ikifika, tutanyosha nyinyi mwelekeo, njia ile ambayo itakuwa njia ya ukombozi.
Shadrack Kareria, Lookuptv.
And so it begins, and that's all right. At least now we have a clear line between government and opposition, both whom have said they're equal to the challenge. I has been part of raging ever since the election. Is still on the job, and now more than 500,000 voters are expected to turn out tomorrow to cast their ballots in the Bungoma senatorial election. And IBC officials are assuring you of transparent exercise. The Bungoma senatorial seat, of course, fell vacant after Moses Wetangula moved on to become the Speaker of the National Assembly.
We are arranging the ballot papers so that the presiding officers and the deputy presiding officers can come and pick them and go to the polling stations. Here in Kandui constituency, we have 8 wards, and we have 136 polling centers and 242 polling stations. So far, so good. Everything is moving on well, and we are set for the by-elections slated for tomorrow. I call upon all voters of Kandui constituency to come and participate in this process, and let's all maintain peace as we carry out this election. The voters, please, after voting, you are required to go home. It's only the agents and the poll officials who will remain in the polling stations. When they close at 5, they start counting. So nobody is allowed to be in the polling stations apart from the agents, the observers, and the poll officials.
We are prepared to cover this by-election. Security, you know, is key in terms of giving Kenyans confidence to go and exercise their constitutional right. So we give them assurance that we, the National Police Service in this county, we are prepared to cover the by-election.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja today appeared before the Senate Health Committee to table submissions on allegations of negligence and malpractice at Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital following the death of Maureen Anyango.
Hospital has been at the center of alleged negligence of patients leading to their death, with among the latest cases being that of Maureen Anyango, a 28-year-old who succumbed to post-maternity complications after undergoing a CS procedure leading to the delivery of twins. In the Senate Health Committee meeting held at the Parliament buildings, Nairobi County Governor Johnson Sakaja, alongside Mama Lucy health officials directly involved in the case of Maureen and those of Kiambu Level 5 Hospital, today tabled a report on their version of circumstances that led to her death.
In the case of Maureen Anyango, the preliminary autopsy findings were raised intracranial pressure, pulmonary edema, and anemia. In the background of preeclampsia and postpartum hemorrhage, pending toxicology and histology findings, of which we are still waiting for the toxicology and the histological findings. All appropriate and available care was offered to the patients.
According to the report, the patient began experiencing vaginal bleeding at around 1:20 p.m., hours after delivery, in which she was immediately reviewed. At 2:59 p.m., the patient was put under general anesthesia and no serious post-delivery complications were discovered. At 3:10 p.m., efforts to reverse the patient from anesthesia failed, hence the patient was maintained on mechanical ventilation. At 5 p.m. upon consultation, the decision for the critical care of the patient was made and a call made to Kenyatta National Hospital, but there was no ICU. Kenyatta University Teaching Research and Referral Hospital was contacted and gave a quotation of 200,000 shillings deposit, an amount that could not be afforded by the family to Maureen Anyango. Kiambu Level 5 Hospital served as an alternative solution, but at the same time, it was the onset of Maureen's journey to the grave.
They arrived at what time in Kiambu?
Just a few minutes after midnight, around 12:10. Yeah, 12:20.
The records from Kiambu indicate 1 a.m. So
let me clarify on that. You know, when you arrive in the hospital, you doesn't arrive at the gate, then you just hand over to anybody.
Budgeted for how many computers? in this budget for all the facilities to have the computers and the biometric to be used. There's much more. And I look forward for you getting that report from us in terms of what we're doing, and you hold us to account. The state of healthcare in Nairobi has been really wanting for years, for decades even, and a lot changed.
The group from Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital said the mother lost her life because of lack of coordinated referral system in the county, a matter that is yet to gain clarity. Nairobi County Governor now wants the committee to give Mama Lucy Hospital more time to go back to the drawing board before settling for decisions that might render the hospital unreliable. The matter now stops with the committee as it works around the clock to end such incidences. Maureen Anyango is just one among the many who have fallen victim of alleged negligence by Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital. The committee is committed on cracking a whip to get at the bottom of it all, including recommendations for a temporary closure of the facility. But the question that begs for answers is, will the efforts stop at salvaging the situation to stop further deaths from taking place? Cecilia Lubanga, Lookuptv at the Mama Lucy Hospital, Nairobi.
From Kamukunji OCS, Chief Inspector Samir Abdulrahman Yunis has today been charged in court for allegedly raping a policewoman at Dandora police station 3 years ago when he was there as the police boss.
Yunus Samir Abdulrahman today appeared before Chief Magistrate Wendy Kagendo at the Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi to answer to charges of perpetrating the assault when he was the boss at the police station in blatant abuse of his position on June 15, 2019.
It is out of judicial respect that we humbly request this honorable court to temporarily stay taking to allow the High Court consider what we want to believe is a meritorious constitutional petition.
However, Yunus denied the claims, with his lawyer David Auyo urging the court to release his client on reasonable bond terms as he is still in service. Yunus denied the charges and was released on a cash bail of 200,000 with alternative bond of Kenya shillings 500,000, with surety with the case scheduled for 31st of December.
State to supply copies of all the documents that they will rely upon, as well as the witness statements by the pretrial date, which has been set in for the 20th of December 2022. The accused person is given a bond of 500,000 with one surety of a similar amount, or alternative cash bail of 200,000 with one contract.
Elsewhere, Charles Kamotho, son to former politician Joseph Kamotho, has been charged with forgery in an alleged attempt to disinherit his siblings of their father's multi-billion estate. Kamotho is also charged with presenting the forged medical report to the Deputy Registrar of Milimani High Court in Nairobi in a succession matter number 108 of 2017. He, however, denied those claims and was released on a cash bill of 150,000.
The fund is allocated to court number 11, a bond of 300,000 with one surety of a similar amount, or alternative cash bill of 150,000 with one contact person.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Let's take a break and come back with more news shortly.
So mimi nilikuwa mmoja wa timu kubwa ya Hasla na ngojea mazao yake.
Na bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, ni awamu nyingine tena ya bunge la mwenyeji ambapo tunasikia tu maoni ya wenyeji, hasa wananchi wa kawaida. Je, maoni ni yapi?
Anakwambia wananchi ndio kila kitu. Unaona deep state na system ni wananchi. Unaona vile wamenyorosha watu bwana.
Tumeng'oa nanga kwenye bunge la mwenyeji.
So ile kitu nasema tunamuomba asituachilie.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
After 2 years of Kenyans enjoying free transfers from their bank accounts to mobile money wallets, the Central Bank of Kenya has announced a reinstatement of charges on transfer of money between bank accounts and mobile money platforms in what will come as a relief for banks that have long decried the CBK's reluctance to reinstate the fees.
In a notice published Tuesday evening, the Central Bank of Kenya has indicated that the reinstated charges will come effect on January 1st, 2023. However, it will not be all bad news, as the regulator also announced that the charges by the banks will be revised downwards. In the notice, the CBK indicated that the maximum charges for the transfers between bank accounts to mobile money wallets have been revised by an average 61%, with mobile money to bank account charges also reducing by an average of 47%. With the recent democratization of pay bill business in the country still taking momentum in the economy, the Central Bank of Kenya has announced that the charges attracted by the pay bills will be revised downwards by an average of 50%. This review has been seen as one that will hurt the migration of the economy to digital transactions, with the CBK announcing that since 2020 March, an additional 6.2 million Kenyans started using mobile money in the country. In the same period, CBK notes that the monthly volume and value of peer-to-peer transactions surged from 162 million transactions worth 234 billion to 440 million transactions worth 399 billion shillings, representing 171% and 71% increases respectively. Further, the monthly volume and value of transactions between payment service providers and banks increased from 18 million transactions worth 157 billion shillings to over 113 million transactions worth 800 billion shillings respectively, marking a five-fold and four-fold increases. Despite the profits that the banking industry has been making in the recent past, commercial banks have been breathing heavily on the neck of the central bank to bring back the charges, citing heavy investment in a digital technology to keep pace with the growing transactions. For Look at Business, Simba, Elijah Charles Kiage.
In the day's sport, KCB FC has intensified preparations for its FKF Premier League clash against Bungoma's Nzoia Sugar on Saturday at the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. Otieno's men moved up from the